Okay, may have been a little too ambitious with the last episode I did where I streamed it live. Didn't really get all the kind of viewership I was hoping for, mostly because I was hoping for a lot of interaction with that. And yeah, maybe was a little too ambitious with it, because I only had a couple people watching it and not really that many people chatting. In fact, only one person said one thing, and that was it. So I think I'm going to not do live shows until I get more of a built-up fan base, because the show's going to grow. It has nowhere else to go but up. So the quality is only going to ever increase, right? Because, again, I'm at the bottom. I'm literally at the bottom right now. I can only work my way up. So we're going to have to basically keep doing these recordings, and actually after this one I'm going to start putting them out on audio places only. Again, I've been saying that I wanted to do that. I found the service that I wanted to use, so probably tomorrow, actually, after, because I'm not going to publish this today's Monday, I'm going to publish it on Tuesday. That same day I'm going to try, because I've been editing all my old podcasts and shows just so I could put them out on an audio format, because it's actually, I have to clean up that audio as well, and it's a process. It takes a little bit of time. However, I'm trying to not edit it so much because, again, the way I want the show to be, I want the show to be as good as it was then, or as good as it is now as it is then. So if it's entertaining now and entertaining later, that's good. That's what I want the show to be, and that's really what I'm trying hard for. Again, I messed around with a lot of the audio settings to kind of fix it. And, because I had to, working really hard on art, because I need to have more art and can't ever have enough. And again, trying to be a little too ambitious with the show right now. So I'm actually going to try, and this is going to be a different format. Okay, this show is going to be a completely different format from what I've done in the past, where I've had a topic and kind of covered it, and then get derailed constantly. I realize that I'm always all over the place because there's multiple things I want to talk about all the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to double up on episodes, and one episode is going to be kind of a multitude. This is what today's going to be. Today's going to be kind of a multitude of subjects. More or less just kind of like a review of things that have happened that I've noticed in like news articles, or just kind of a sum up of things that have happened in the gaming industry or the anime industry, whatever I've noticed. Today's going to be a lot about gaming. That's why I've got another gaming shirt on. Because if you'll notice, anytime I talk about games, I try to wear appropriate, wear attire appropriate for it. And that's going to be kind of what today is, and then next episode will be more of a focused topic, because I really need to focus in on those and just kind of stick to that and not get derailed so much. So that's what today's going to be. Today's going to be just an all-encompassing show about things that I've seen, noticed, and kind of wanted to talk about. I'm not going to try and let it run long, because again, I don't want these shows to be like, especially this one, since I don't have a lot to work off with and kind of go off on. It's more of just a review, and I'll give my opinions on it. They're not going to really last too long, so I'm hoping that it'll just be pretty easy, pretty pretty standard, and I won't have to worry too much about rambling like I normally do. So that's what today's going to be. Again, I've said that 5 times now, so I'm already rambling, but let's get started. My name's Chris, and well, this is just another Neckbeard's podcast. How is everybody doing today? I'm doing great. As you can see, we're still using the same music that I've been since the beginning, because, again, making music is hard. And honestly, I got another copyright claim on my last episode, the one I did live. I got claimed on it because I played not even 30 seconds of a song. and they claimed me for it because it was just the outro that I wanted, that, you know, for people there that watched it live could chill out and just kind of calm the stream back down to. And I got struck for that. Again, there's this big, before we begin, let me clear things up. Because some people are getting confused when I say copyright claim, and they think that this channel might end. That's not true at all. There's two very distinct differences when it comes to getting a copyright strike or a claim. And that's, well, literally that, a strike versus a claim. So a strike is basically you published a video that has copyrighted content and it's not subjective, or, you know, you tried to monetize it, something of that nature. It was harassment. It was any of that type of stuff. And somebody's striking your channel against you saying, you can't do this. We don't want you to put this out there. You need to take that down. And what it is, YouTube will take that video down and give you a strike. And if you basically, it's baseball rules, 3 strikes and you're out. So I haven't gotten a strike. I've gotten a claim. Okay, a claim is different. A claim is saying, hey, you used copyrighted material in this video, but we're not going to take your channel down, or we're not going to give you a strike. Instead, we're just going to claim the content that's in there, demonetize your video, which my videos aren't monetized anyway, because I don't want you to ever be subjected to ads, and that's why I get really mad about claims on my channel, because I don't ever want you to see I don't ever want anybody on here to ever see an ad. So you'll get an ad, they'll put ads on your video, and then that money goes to them. And if that channel or if that video was monetized, any monetization that you had on that video goes to them. And it doesn't really affect your channel too much unless you're monetized and you're really trying to avoid that. Again, because I'm small and I have literally the smallest fan base out here. Again, show has nowhere to go but up. So it doesn't really affect me that much, other than the aspect of advertisements. And again, I hate advertisements, and a majority of people do. I don't ever want to subject you to that. The only ad I ever want to put out is an ad for this show that I pretty much tell you all the time, hey, check out my show, while it's during it. Not all the time, but you know, you get the idea. So anyway, moving on, since we cleared that up and got that out there, one of the things that I've noticed this week, since really September has started and the new quarter, I guess, of video games has more or less begun now that August is over. So we've gotten into a lot of new releases this past week and a half. Sorry. I got the hiccups from that water now. We've gotten a lot of new releases that have come out recently. And one in particular that I talked about earlier was a game called River City Girls. River City Girls is wrong one. That's embarrassing. We're going to talk about that later. Again, this is a video and an audio show. So I really implore anybody to check out the video version, because again, there's a lot to enjoy about it. But if you like to take it on the go, that's what the audio version is for. So the game is River City Girls, and River City Girls is more or less a sequel to the franchise River City Ransom, which in Japan is called Kunio-kun. And there's an entire series of games based around that. The original creators were Technos Japan, same creators of Double Dragon and all those other retro style beat 'em ups that you played. And they had an entire franchise built around this Kunio-kun, which is like a gang, like high school gang style, beat 'em up. And there's other series, and there's the World Cup, which is all soccer. There's a bunch of sports games, and you've probably noticed a lot of those games because they use the same sprites and the same character designs in a lot of them. And River City Girls is more or less a new way to take the franchise forward, where it's still pixelated graphics, it's still beat 'em up, and it has a lot of that classic feel to it, but with a lot of more modern updates to it. And it's been getting a lot of good reviews and a lot of good praise lately because a lot of people like it. This game just came out this week, and a lot of people, I'm sorry, not this week, just a few days ago, and a lot of people are already giving it praise and saying this is a really good game. I like it a lot. It's very retro. It's very classic, and it's fun. It's straight up fun. I personally still haven't got the game yet because I don't have the money to be able to buy games all the time, so I don't have it quite just yet. But again, it looks like a lot of fun, and I really want to try it, and I eventually will. Just not now is not the time for it. But one of the things that I've noticed about the game, especially when it comes to the way WayForward, the publisher of the company, has been kind of promoting the game. They've been promoting the game to a very specific type of audience, and it seems like the game was also kind of developed for that. Because originally, the original River City Ransom was just this kind of comical, wacky, over the top beat 'em up, where they would inhale plate. Like if you went to, people would just say crazy stuff. They had all these wild expressions. You had crazy moves like Acro Circus, where you would just front flip like crazy through the air, and it would hurt enemies and stuff like that. All these other crazy moves that you could get. And one of the things that was a defining feature of it was just how over the top and crazy it was. Again, repeating what I just said. But River City Girls kind of embellishes that as well. But one of the things that they've changed about it is they're really trying to pander it towards weebs, especially if you looked at how WayForward's kind of marketing and gimmicking the campaign. Because one of the things that I've noticed a lot on Twitter is all the people that are really praising the game already are people that are kind of really obsessed with anime and really into that whole Japanese culture that is, they think is Japanese culture, but it really is just, it's a very specific culture that comes from Japan that is not really that welcoming there, that some people don't really understand. And there, again, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with advertising and marketing to a specific demographic that you're wanting to, but it kind of suffers at the cost of the integrity of the game that I was kind of excited for, because now there was an entire group of people cosplaying as the characters from the game, which it's just girls in school uniforms. That's how the first game was as well. Like all of them are like that. They're always in school uniforms. So it makes sense that the girls are in school uniforms, but then the people were cosplaying as that. So, and it's just like the most generic looking thing out there. So it wasn't really that interesting. It was kind of bizarre. And they knew exactly who to market the game towards because they, after the release, they had a party in Little Tokyo where their office is located. And, they were just kind of they just had food to help promote the game, like a food truck and things like that. And, you can look all that up on Twitter. There's an archive of it, WayForward is a company, so they don't delete anything that doesn't give them a bad reputation. And that's kind of unfortunate because I'm really excited. I still want to play the game because it's a retro inspired game. I love that stuff. That I'm all over that stuff. So I'm still eventually going to get the game. However, the people that kind of view the game as it is now, the new people coming and flocking to the franchise that I originally really loved, I'm worried about how this is actually going to affect it now because we might be getting, much like what happened to a lot of other franchises. Again, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I know for a fact that there are some out there. There's like Nier Automata and stuff like that they're starting to market towards these, this weeaboo culture, and it could really affect how the franchise moves forward. So whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I can't really say. Especially since I haven't played the game yet, I'm going to have to find that out on my own. But you kind of get what I'm talking about. I hope you do at least because, weeaboos are definitely like seen as a negative thing in especially modern culture. So I'm hoping that we don't see a lot of that coming. Again, that could be good or bad. I can't really judge it until I played the game. Now, a game that I have played, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, I was really excited for this game when I first heard about it. If you want me, okay, quick review. Again, because this is a show that goes all over. This type of the show is just going to be all over the place. A quick review. Let me give you a quick review of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I was really excited for the game because I like Smash Brothers. It's a fun game. And I finally got it. I got it for the holidays, and when I started playing it, I was not very happy with it. They did a lot of changes to the way the game works mechanically that I was not a big fan of, especially the input buffering. There's a very severe issue I have with the Joy-Cons themselves used as a controller. So you're pretty much mandatory to use a GameCube controller. There's a huge input delay when you use wireless controllers. That's just a problem with the Switch itself. It's not an issue I have with it's not an issue with Smash Brothers itself. It's just an issue with the Switch. Every game I play, if I untether the controllers and use them like that, there's just always a huge input delay. There's something wrong with the Joy-Cons themselves. They just don't have a good range. Nintendo says that they do. It doesn't. It does not. The Joy-Cons never work, even though I'm literally about 6 feet away from the console. They just don't work. For whatever reason, the Switch doesn't like it. There's been multiple reports of people having issues with that all the time. However, moving on to the actual news, Nintendo had a Direct this week, and it seems like they do a Direct every quarter now. So we get new updates all the time, and because Smash Brothers was a huge seller. It was a huge, almost. I mean, I'm not gonna look up the numbers now, but I want to say Breath of the Wild numbers in terms of sales, which is really good. So a lot of people own the game and like the game. So of course, much like last time, they have a DLC characters coming out, and boy, during the Direct did we get a bunch of news. So one thing that had happened is we had gotten a leak for, and there's always Smash Brothers leaks every time you go on any forum, even scrolling through Facebook, like 4 or 5 days before the Direct, even on Twitter, it affects every social media. I was seeing these articles about, a leak came out recently saying that Sora is going to be in Smash Brothers, that there's a leak that came out that said Master Chief is going to be in the game. All these fake leaks that are so obvious. And then we got another leak. A particular leak came out saying that an SNK rep was going to be coming, and it was Terry Bogard, Mr. Trucker Cap himself from Fatal Fury, an SNK fighting game. And I didn't believe that at first, and much to my dismay, I was completely wrong. Turns out he's in. Terry Bogard from Fatal Fury, you know that fighting game that you probably never played. He's in the game. And yeah, that kind of got everybody out of control because nobody expected this. Nobody saw this coming. Again, nobody plays Fatal Fury. I don't know anybody that's ever played this game. Apparently, he's a pretty popular character, though. He's supposed to be the main character of the fighting game. And again, I guess I can't really dog on it too much because I don't know the character. I don't know the game that he comes from. Obviously, it had to have been a popular game. I mean, I know for a fact that Fatal Fury is a series of games. There's a series of them. So it's not unreal or unheard of. Especially since we've gotten other off the wall. Like we got Joker from Persona 5. It's anything can happen. It seems like anything can happen this whole DLC that we're getting for Smash Ultimate. When the tagline was everyone is here, I think they really mean that. They're trying to get every franchise they can into the game at this point. So the fact that an SNK rep, from a company that, that probably wanted some representation is getting it now. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. But that's not all. We got now again, we didn't get to see too much of Terry's moveset, so there's not much I can say about it. We don't know what's going to happen, but it really opens up the 5th slot to being an even greater. Again, they're going to be, every time this stuff comes out, everybody goes ballistic, and more and more leaks come out that are quote unquote real leaks. But I'm actually really I can't believe this because everyone is here, and you know who else got in? They did the meme. They got Sans in Smash. Now, Undertale's a game I've never played. I never really had an intention of playing it because the fan base got way too toxic too incredibly fast, and I didn't care. It was everywhere, and it was just being bombarded at me when I didn't want it, much like a lot of other stuff that happens on the internet. When something gets so popular so fast, I tend to avoid it, because it's like, look, you might be saying it's good, and all these other people might be saying it's incredibly good. I'm not going to be a part of this. I don't want anything to do with it. So I kind of drop it. I just like, if it had a chance, it got lost immediately. But they got Sans and Smash. I couldn't believe it. They got, I mean, granted, he's just a Mii costume, but still, they're really trying to push and get everything into the game at this point. And another announcement we got DLC Pack 2 is going to be coming right after they're done with the 5th character, which we don't know yet. They didn't announce when Terry Bogard is going to be ready. I almost said Terry Crews, by the way, because I mean, that's just, I have no idea who the guy is. And the only Terry that I can think of off the top of my head is Terry Crews, the actor. And I can't believe it. I can't believe they did the meme and got Sans in Smash. I mean, that's insane. I mean, they're really trying hard to get this stuff going. But speaking of the Switch, so one thing in particular that's caught my eye as well is a particular Kickstarter that I've been seeing promoted to me constantly. You might be seeing this, especially if you own a Switch and you're familiar with the console, you might be seeing this particular Kickstarter being flushed around. Oh, wow, somebody is just backed it again. This is called the Genki Covert Dock for the Nintendo Switch. And what this is a Switch dock alternative. Now, you've probably seen other ones. There's other companies that have made their own mini versions of a dock that you could take with you, and it's the same thing. The interesting part about this is that it plugs right into a wall outlet, and then that's it. You just plug it into a wall outlet, and you don't have to worry about anything else. One thing that I've noticed about it, though, this whole Kickstarter blew up. I'm going to show you right here. If you look, they have $1.5 million. More than that, but I'm not, okay. They have $1,573,044 to 23,317 backers. Now, I did the math earlier, but now I got to redo it because more just got added to it. And I'm not going to play the Kickstarter video that they have because, quite honestly, it's a Kickstarter promo video. So whether that was made with a promo already designed or not, they just probably had an idea and went with it. That's not the point. There is a particular part of it that I do want to show you, though, that could kind of I don't know. I don't know if it works yet. But it is rather interesting that it's all they're making a lot of outrageous claims with it. Now, again, we have seen dock alternatives. It's not a new concept at all. But the thing about them is they all run the wires individually, right? This one runs all of it at once, right off the outlet, and it's very small. It's the same size as any phone charger that you would ever see. It's not that big. And they're advertising it as the dock that you can take with you. They're like, the Switch isn't portable. Is a portable console, sure, but it's not that portable in terms of you can take it anywhere. No. So what instead is they're advertising it as like, here's the dock that you take with you. It's annoying to pick up your dock and take it anywhere because it's this big, bulky, honking thing that is just really annoying to have. So here's our alternative. And again, I'm really harping on it, but let me do the math real quick. So, actually, never mind. I'll do the math in a second. What I really want to show you is I want to show you what some of the claims that they're saying on here. So it has a USB-C charging port. And that's where you plug the Switch in from, an HDMI out, and one single USB accessory, which is fine. They talk about how the the material is similar to the Pro controller and all this stuff. It's compact, easy to go, and they're also claiming they're not claiming. I've seen all these other people talking about it, all these other, tech shows, tech media, whatever. They're all talking about it because, look at how much support that's getting. It's already, its goal was $50,000, and it's way surpassed that because it really just shows how poorly the dock was designed and how Nintendo kind of failed on that, easy to take it anywhere and hook it up to a TV. They kind of failed on that design. But again, that's not really what Nintendo intended for it anyway. They kind of intended it for, here's how you play it at home, here's how you play it on the go. You just pick it up and you play it on the go. Play it at home, drop it in, there you go. And I understand where that's coming from, but a lot of people, they also advertise it as very multiplayer friendly. So when you advertise something that's easy to play with multiplayer and friends and stuff like that, you kind of need to play it off of a TV because that screen is so tiny. I can't imagine anything that tiny being able to, play a good match on for like any competitive game, I guess. But anyway, so one of the things that they really are pushing for is the portability of it. And you can see right here, let's see, what kind of dock would Solid Snake? They're using a lot of imagery for video games, which I kind of think is a little bit like, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that. But again, I don't know if they're allowed to or not, but they are. Like, they literally have a rip of Kirby from Smash Brothers in it. So I don't know if that's okay. Again, who knows? But here's how they have it. It says, step 1, simply plug the Switch into the covert dock. Step 2, plug the HDMI cable into the TV. And step 3, profit. Now, this part is interesting where it just says 720 and then up to 1080. It makes me wonder if it really is just a 720p signal upscaled to 1080, but it says right here, full 1080p dock mode. Again, 1080p is actually subjective when it comes to the Switch because a lot of games have different displays for the game. Some of them are 900p, like Mario Odyssey is a 900p game. Breath of the Wild was the same, a 900p game, 720 on the dock and on the go, and it's just an upscaled signal. It's not true 1080. So some of that stuff is a little exaggerated. But here we go, back to it. Now it says right here, this is how they say their technology is like supposed to be working for it. It says, farewell silicon, welcome to the future. One of the secrets behind making covert docks so powerful without the bulk is thanks to gallium nitride, or abbreviated to 3 magical letters in the periodic table, GAN. Now, this is kind of an interesting part that they're really bringing up with it. Right here, it says, by using the latest GAN technology, we get incredible efficiency gains that run cooler, enabling us to surpass the limits of the last generation silicone chargers. Take a peek inside. There's no fan. There's no fan on this, so this thing has to be an insane heat sink, especially if it's trying to upscale signals, charge cables, run all this stuff through it, run signals through it. This has. They say that it will run cooler, and I don't doubt that. I'm sure it does run cooler, but it's going to be hot. This thing's going to be hot because the Switch is already known to run really hot. So, I mean, I don't know how it's going to handle the signal, but again, they're using a lot of imagery from games. Here's a mock-up of Smash Brothers. Again, more advertisements for the thing itself. And here's a comparison of what they say all that is compared to all these devices. You can use all your accessories on it, wired controllers. They have the Genki audio adapter, that Bluetooth audio adapter, which is another thing that was advertised to me a lot was their Bluetooth adapter for your Switch to plug your headset into, so you don't have any wires on it. And that thing works. People have said that it works. Again, I don't see why it was necessary, though, because, again, you can find easy alternatives to that, or you can just get, regular headphones. They work just fine. I guess some people don't like that, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't see what the big issue is. Here we got all these other accessories. I'm not sure why they show mouses and stuff like that. But again, we got play, work, bond. Covert dock is ready to go. Take it with you to your favorite bar, taco truck, dorm room, game, comic convention, hotel lounge, literally anywhere. I want you to be able to take it anywhere. It says it protects your console, which is funny because they have to kind of advertise it saying that, because there's been alternate docks that have really fried people's Switches because of the way the Switch's charging works. So who knows? Again, who knows what this thing even does? But here's why I don't think it really is what they say it is, or it could be something completely different. Again, here you have the prices that they starts off at $49 for early ones, and $60 normally. One thing that's interesting is that's pretty much half the price of a secondary dock that you would have to buy from Nintendo. So they're really trying to like take over the dock market with that. Here's the specs that they say. It output resolution 1080p, HDMI 1.4, 30 watts. I mean, I'm not too technical when it comes to this stuff, so I don't know how it works exactly. But here's the video I wanted to show. This is what they show. This is their showcase of the dock in action. And I'm going to play it, and I will tell you what I think of at the moment we get to it.
Hi Kickstarter, I'm Andrew from Human Things, and I'm here to show the Cobra dock working. So here's the Cobra dock, and here is the Switch with a Type-C cable connected. And
okay, so you can see that cable is running into that, so that's good. That's a good thing. So they're really showing that it's sitting on some kind of pedestal. But again, the USB-C port right there is how the Switch goes into a signal normally. So there's no way they can be BSing that.
We're just going to plug that in right now. Here's the HDMI just from the TV.
Okay.
And all we have to do is plug it in.
Okay, so he's plugged it into the wall already, and again, when you plug a Switch into the dock, it doesn't immediately go to the signal. It takes a second or two. So, but he's not showing the top half of the TV for really the entirety of the video.
The screen should disappear.
So there's a screen shut off. Okay. I really want to quickly jump in and say that he didn't show anything off the top screen of that. Now, the screens are the same that was on the console originally before. I didn't see any notices. In fact, I'll even roll it back so that you can see. It looks like they have a game there. There's Mario Maker 2 specifically right there. So, let's see.
The screen should disappear.
And there we go. Okay. So it does look like the same games that are being displayed there. So let's keep. Oops. Okay. Right there it says 4K HDMI 1, 1920 by 1080, 60 frames per second. It can't really. The thing that I kind of find interesting is the fact that it shows the display number, because normally when you I guess sometimes it does. It depends on the TV, but like the fact that he doesn't show the top half of the TV is what makes me think that they do have another cable running behind that, and that they just had another switch. Like the Switch goes into sleep mode. They had to have timed it up perfectly for it, and just waited for the dock to go naturally into a sleep mode for it to switch over onto the TV. Let's see. We got one. Let's see. Like I'm really trying. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 there. And how many do we have here? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's the same amount. So again, this might be something that actually does work. I'm not really trying to dog on them. I would like to see the full TV. But again, I don't really feel the need for a product like this. I think it's really cool, though. I think it is cool. I'm glad that we're seeing alternatives like this. I'm really not trying to harp too hard on them because I don't really think it's something that doesn't work. I think it does probably work. I just think it's not really a working like that. That makes it seem like that particular prototype isn't working just yet, but they kind of wanted to demonstrate how it works again. So again, or it could have been an early Kickstarter video for it. I have no idea. Let's see. Let's go back up to the numbers because I do want to show you how much they're charging for it. Again, they're charging $69 for it, or $59 to $69, depending on how much you want to pledge. And we've got right here. So it just went up again. So I'm going to do the calculations here really quick. So how do I clear it out? Clear all. So we have $1,573,371, and we're going to divide that by 23,322 backers, and we have an average of $67 a backer, which is pretty high. But if you'll notice, you can't back more than like the minimum amount to back is $59. So the minimum amount that you can back is $60. So you're basically just buying the product. Like this is what's kind of messed up about Kickstarter now is there used to be like tier rewards that started as low as $1 usually. $1 one was usually just like a quick thank you. And then, went up from there, and then you would get to the level where you would get the product, and then further and further from there. Now this is like, it's almost like this is how people kind of like know how to get people to back something and get more funding out of it, because the minimum that they wanted was $50,000. That's pretty easily attained when everybody's paying, again, an average of $67 a person. Let's do that. Let's do 50,000 divided by 67. 67. And that's 700. After 746 backers, they had what they wanted. They had like only 750 people, and they would have been golden. They already had their funding. Now that's not saying there could be people that are just randomly giving them money. I don't know why you would want that. It says right there, make a pledge without a reward. You don't get anything out of that. So I don't know why you would want to do that, but you can, I guess. And one last, again, that's kind of all I have to say about that. Again, I'm not trying to dog on the product. I'm sure it works, but again, I would like to see some more footage of that before that'd be something I'd be interested to invest in. Again, because we've had other alternate docks that have come out that have actually really messed up the Switch's hardware, because the Switch, contrary to what Nintendo will tell you, the Switch is a pretty fragile console. We've had reports of them melting. Again, that's a very small amount of people that have had that happen to them. With the Joy-Cons that are constantly having sync issues or constantly having range issues with them. We had the recent Joy-Con drift with a lot of them where the joysticks just, they just kind of lose their placement on them. We've had a lot of issues with that. The docks scratching their systems. It's a fragile console. So it's hopefully not going to cause issues with it. They claim it doesn't. Again, you treat the console as well as you would anything else. If you treat it right, it'll stay nice and good. But if you treat it like dirt, it's going to end up broken and not working. So it comes with care. You have to care about your system and your console in order for that stuff to happen. But final thing in Switch news, because I've talked a lot about the Switch now, is Nintendo finally released Super Nintendo games on the Switch. Now, this isn't the entire list. If you're watching the video version, I'm kind of directing you to look at the kind of list that I have on screen. This isn't the entire list. This is just a screenshot somebody did for it. But we did have like 20 Super Nintendo games come out on the Switch finally. We got the Super Nintendo Classic, basically the entire of the Super Nintendo Classic games on the Switch now. I'm pretty sure, other than like Star Fox 2 and maybe a few others. but we have Super Mario Kart, Super Mario World, Legend of Zelda, Super Metroid, a lot of super games. Yoshi's Island, Super Ghosts and Goblins, a lot of games like that, and they're just really classic. And it's about time. People would have been wanting this. A lot of people wanted more retro games on the Switch because they like to take all those old games with them. And I'm glad to see this. The only problem I have with it is going to be the slow release schedule, like they do with the NES one, where they only give like a couple every month. And again, not that you have to be subscribed to their internet service in order to have access to that, which is $20 a month. Again, that's not a lot of money, or not, sorry, 20 a month would be a lot. $20 a year, that's not a lot of money, but still, like, the Switch already has very poor internet when it comes to just playing online in general. There's always a huge amount of delay. It's not an internet, like Nintendo's never been an internet friendly console, but you kind of dealt with it when it was free. It's just like, whatever, I'm not paying for it, so who cares? Now you're paying for it and it still doesn't work. So Nintendo really needs to kind of step up their game when it comes to making sure that they're because again, they're still using peer-to-peer connections. They need to make sure that stuff, their netcode really works good for that. And it's something that they kind of ignore or overlook when it comes to the console itself. So I guess this is their way to make it up to people. You can have retro games for free because, again, people really wanted a virtual console for the Switch to take with them. They wanted the whole library that they can just buy. But the fact that they're kind of giving it away for free is actually really nice because, I guess it's not really free, but it kind of is. You're not having to buy the games again. It's nice to be able to have all that stuff because it's annoying to have to constantly rebuy those games if you were somebody that wanted to keep a virtual collection of that stuff, starting from the Wii all the way up to now. You had to constantly buy those games if you wanted to play them on new platforms, and you couldn't just transfer them over because you'd think, I bought it, I should be able to transfer it over to my other stuff. They didn't do that, but oh well. So let's kind of go back to new releases. We've had a couple other new releases that are doing fairly well now. Another release that we had was the Spyro Remaster trilogy, or Reignited trilogy, come out, and it's been doing insanely well. People really like these retro remasters that are coming out. We had it happen with Crash Bandicoot. We had it happen with what was the other one? I guess Bloodstained. It's not really it's more of like a reboot of the series. We had it happen with Mega Man 11. Mega Man 11 did pretty good. I don't think as well as what Capcom wanted. But Crash kind of like kicked it off for these old N64, PlayStation 1 era trilogies or series kind of getting a new remaster treatment, and Spyro was something people really wanted updated because people love these games. I've personally never really played Spyro that much, but I am interested to try this now, and I would really like to play these games because I love old school platformers. Again, I'm a big retro guy. I love retro games. I love all that stuff, but I would be I really am interested to try the Spyro trilogy because it's a series that I've seen as a child and kind of grew up next to, but never personally grew up with, if that makes sense. So it's kind of interesting. I'm really interested to try it and kind of experience what it was a lot of other people did when they were young and why people fell in love with these games. And it also kind of gives Spyro kind of limelight back. Spyro's been kind of shunned. Not really shunned. He's been kind of on the back burner for a lot of these old school style mascots getting a bad treatment. Like and they tried to reboot Spyro with the Skylanders series, and it stopped being about Spyro immediately when it came out because a lot of other characters just kind of took it over. So a lot of these Spyro's been kind of on the back burner because of that, because of Skylanders, and people were kind of thought that Spyro was going to die because of Skylanders. So the fact that the Reignited trilogy, sorry, can't talk right now. The Reignited trilogy has done so well and has brought a lot of attention back to the series. It's actually really cool. So we could see a lot good come out of this. Oh, Crash Team Racing was another one. Crash Team Racing had a remaster done as well. A lot of games like that. So another game that's been doing very good in terms of sales, but that's kind of questionable whether you like it or not, is NBA 2K20. And you might have gotten a glimpse of the picture earlier that I showed, but I'm not going to bring it up just yet because there's a particular part. This is something that you're going to want to see on the video version, by the way, because you can really kind of see what it looks like. But NBA 2K20 has come out, and again, it was already in a big controversy earlier this year when they released the trailer for it, where it was basically gambling, because they have their microtransactions in the game, which basically gives you like NBA points or whatever. I don't know. I don't play any of these games, but I know about them. And one thing that's always been really, frustrating with just the community in general is microtransactions, and these sports games are always full of them. NBA is one of the worst offenders of it. And oh boy, so their new feature in the game is you collect players through like trading cards, kind of like what FIFA does. And FIFA, you just buy packs, I think, for players. NBA, you have to gamble for them now. Slot machines, pachinko. I think there's a roulette one. It's just, you're gambling. You have to gamble to earn these players now, and you have to use microtransactions to get the points for that. So you're using real money to use on virtual slot machines, to use on virtual pachinko machines, which are gambling. That is gambling in order for a virtual player that is already in the game that you have to earn it through gambling. So it's already, like, a lot of people have already talked really badly about the game. It's one of the most disliked videos on YouTube right now. In fact, let's kind of look that up really quick. NBA 2K20 gambling trailer. So let's just take a look to see what the first My Team trailer. No. NBA 2K My Team 2 weeks ago. Yeah, here it is. This is the trailer. No. Okay, I really don't want to get copyright claims, so I'm trying to. Yeah. So the like to dislike ratio is insane on this. I'm just gonna show this to you really quick. If you look really quick, it is 37,000 to 26,000. That's nuts. Did I have that on the whole time, the display capture? Wow. I hope I didn't, because that would be really embarrassing. Yeah, we have 3.7 thousand likes and 26,000 dislikes. That's really bad, and a lot of people don't like this. Let's look at some of these comments real quick. EA, we're the top dog with gambling mechanics. 2K, hold my slot machine. Okay. Excuse me, can I get less basketball in my casino simulator? Thanks. Some of these are gold. These are pretty good. Let's see. Unlisted hunt. You cannot escape my dislike. Is it? I don't think this is an unlisted video, is it? It's pretty. Yeah, it's not unlisted. It's pretty public. Because I was able to search for it. When did NBA stand for no basketball allowed? Why is this casino game played up like it's a sports game? Wow. Some of these comments are gold. So yeah, that was already at the beginning of the game. However, another thing, because these games are released yearly, they have to be rolling over some of the stuff, right? Well, turns out that really NBA 2K20 is just last year's game that they're selling you again with some gambling mechanics in it, because here is a clip right here where they forgot to update the icon for NBA 2K20. This is the Steam icon, so I don't think you can see this on any of the console versions, but this is how they forgot to update the icon on the PC version, and right there you can see it says NBA 2K19. Now, from what I understand, this is not photoshopped. This is a legit screen capture from that person's taskbar, where and it really, if if this is real, and I believe that it is, it really shows that they don't put a lot, like it's really just the same game that they're selling you again every year, and people buy it. Like, again, people like sports. They like these sports games. And a lot of the reason why people buy them constantly is because, oh, well, everybody else is going to buy it, so I need to stay up to date. That's not a good mindset. It really shows you that they are putting effort. Sure, they're putting effort to put new new players in the game, maybe update the engine a little bit and the graphics. But as far as like the base of the game, how it works and runs, it's just the same game with some fancy new updates. That's really it. A lot of this could be solved through software updates, and that's what a lot of people have said over the years. Like, couldn't you just do this with a software update and say it's like a $20 DLC, like here you get the 2K20 experience now for $20, like that, instead of a full $60 game, especially since there's gambling in the game, and you like in order to build a team, you have to gamble on these things. It's nuts. I mean, it's absolutely insane. And again, that's gonna be it for tonight. That's all the news that I had for you this week. A lot of gaming stuff, because that's the stuff that I constantly see in my feed and stuff that I wanted to get off my chest. This is kind of a new segment that I'm running because I want to get the show more structured, because again, I've gotten comments about, hey, maybe you should do more preparation, more kind of structuring the show a little better and not stutter so much. The stuttering will go away with time. That comes with basically doing the show more. So that'll go away with time. However, again, we're gonna hone in more. This is kind of just off the cuff, whatever. Just go over some of the stuff, give my opinions on it, and eventually, not eventually, then we'll have single topic shows as well that will be more honed in, more focused, and I want to keep it that way. Now, one thing I do want to say before I close this out is one thing that I am kind of looking for the show is I really kind of want to get a co-host. Not something I really wanted to do because I wanted to more or less do this as a solo show, kind of do this as like a showcase of myself, things that I notice, things that I'm involved with. But I think having a co-host would help keep the show going, help keep it more structured, and keep it funnier because I'm a back and forth guy. I can, if I really go hard, I'm sure I could really be funny on some of the stuff, but it's a lot more natural for me to back and forth with somebody and have comedy going for that way. Because one of the things I want to do on the show is I want to make you laugh, and I don't think I've really done that well of a job on here. So that's one thing that I really want to do, and I really want to try and push towards. So if you are interested and you would like to join me on the show, I'm going to set up I guess I could use my email, but I didn't really want to do that because you have a file limit when it comes to sending people stuff through email. But I wanted to set up a way for you to do an audition for me. Again, I'm kind of want to have somebody that I more or less know and can, somebody that I've been with before, or, interacted with before. So I'm not really looking for some random guy out there, but you might be the guy. So I'm really only saying this on the show in case it ever reaches somebody that's not a subscriber, that has never seen any of this stuff before. Again, I would like, if you're somebody that hasn't seen any of this stuff before, go watch a previous episode, get an idea of what the show is, my personality, the kind of way I interact with people. And if you want to be a part of the show, give an audition. You can send it to me, I guess in the email link I'll leave below. Or maybe whatever the link is. Again, I'm not sure. I'm not 100% on how I'm going to do this yet. In fact, I might not even do it after this one, but just know if you are interested, actually here, how about this? If you're interested, leave a comment and let me know that you would like to try out for the show, and we can set something up that way. All right. I think that'll probably be the best way to do it, because if I do an email, there's always going to be file size restrictions. And if you join the Discord, there we go. If you leave a comment and you join the Discord, which the Discord link will be down below, that will 100% be there. If you join the Discord link down below, we can do an audition through Discord, and that'll make it really easy for me to kind of get an idea of the show. Now, one of the things I do have for requirements for it is I do want you to have a decent audio setup. Again, go watch my USB microphone episode if you want to learn how like some different type of microphones can work, maybe an idea of something you would want to buy for that. Headset microphones, no, that is a big no. You can't come on the show if you have a headset microphone. Sorry. And I would also really like for you to have a webcam. It doesn't have to be a necessity, but I would like for you to have a webcam, because this is an audio and a visual show. So having the visual is kind of an important part of it. So it doesn't have to be the best webcam. Like, I have some pretty nice webcams. It doesn't have to be the best one, but you should probably try to get a decent one, something that works and doesn't stutter all the time. But that's going to be it. So thank you again for watching. If you'd like to see more of the show, you can hit subscribe, like, comment, all that other YouTube stuff I kind of have to plug to help promote the growth of the show. And if you would like to hear the show on the go, you can subscribe to it on any audio format that I put it out on. Again, that's going to be coming after this episode, so I'll have the links for that in the description. But I'm planning on doing at least Apple Podcasts, because that's the most widespread one, Spotify, and maybe, I don't know how to do it, but I might try to do it on Google Play, or one of the whatever the Android version of Apple Podcasts is. So we'll try that. But that's it. So thanks for joining me. I need to work on closing this show better again, as usual, but again, I can't really play too much music anymore and close the show with a chill vibe that I wanted to. So we'll work on that. It comes with time. Making music is hard, but thanks again, and I'll catch you next time.